What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage, and today we're going to talk WS transmission fluid. This is based on the analysis we had done on the fluid that we drained out of our 2016 Lexus GS-F. Alright guys, so in our last video with our GS-F, we did go ahead and service this transmission. We dropped the pan, cleaned the magnets, changed the filters, and the car's only got 40,000 miles on it, or it had 40,000 miles on it at the time. I think it was 39,000. I have it written down here actually. It was 39,000 miles on the dot. And when we changed the fluid, I took a sample of it and we sent it out to Blackstone Laboratories because I wanted the data for myself, but I also wanted to prove a point of which I was certain was going to be fact, and I have the report here to back that up. So let's get into it. So I personally feel that WS trans fluid is of the highest quality trans fluid that you can put in your Toyota vehicle. Toyota puts it in there from the factory for a reason. They believe in it, and I don't agree with swapping that fluid out for anything else for any type of improvement. WS is WS. These transmissions are designed for it. They're designed for a very specific viscosity, and changing fluids and changing viscosities will change shift performance, because if the fluid is thinner or thicker, the transmission is not going to be programmed in order to perform properly with that fluid. So with that being said, again, that's all I use in my Toyota vehicles. But here we have the report from our 40,000 mile or 39,000 mile fluid out of our 8-speed automatic here in this GS-F, and it reads, Stefan, the first sample from your Lexus's transmission is a good one. We keep the averages specific to the Aisin AA80, and those are based on about 70,000 miles between oil changes. This oil was not run as long, so on one hand it makes sense to wind up with lower wear. But this is also the factory fill, so it's a little impressive to not find even more metal at this point in the form of wearing. This transmission is off to a great start, and that is of course due in part to the oil holding up well. Normal viscosity, hardly any acidity based on the TAN. Nice report. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna screenshot this, I'm gonna leave it in the video right here. You guys can read it just as I have. And you can also look at the wear metals. On the left column is where our transmission was, and on the far right is universal averages. And what you're gonna notice, we were lower on every wear metal and every wear insoluble than the universal averages on our initial factory break-in fill, which says a lot, number one, about Toyota's build quality with these transmissions, but it also says a lot about WS trans fluid, because that proves that this transmission fluid is doing its job. It is lubricating, it is protecting, and it is doing what it needs to do. Now, the only reason that we did this transmission fluid when we did it was for you guys. I wanted to get a video out on how to service this transmission because I've been looking up videos on this, and quite frankly, there were no videos that I felt were high enough of a quality for people like you to go ahead and do this on a DIY level. I couldn't find any videos that had all the torque specs, and some of the videos I just didn't like the flow of. So I did it in what I think is the best way to do it and the best order to do things. And I hope you guys appreciate that, and hopefully this video helps a ton of Lexus owners. But I did want to make this video just to tell you that this report proves it. WS trans fluid is great stuff. Don't change it out for anything else. Use what the transmission was designed for. You don't need to spend all kinds of money on AMSOIL or Valvoline Max Life. Use Toyota WS. It's good stuff. It protects your transmission. And apparently, according to this, it lasts the long haul, because at 40,000 miles, they're saying this fluid was in excellent shape. Everything was in spec. The flash point, the viscosity, there were trace levels of insolubles, which means the filter in the transmission and the magnets were doing their jobs. And that also debunks another theory that transmission fluid holds wear from the clutch material in it, and that clutch material helps the transmission grab. That's completely false. You would see that in the insolubles, and in our report, we had trace levels of insolubles, meaning they couldn't even find any. And not only that, as the report says, the acidity of this fluid was extremely low. And this is, like I said, we did this at 40,000 miles. Ideally, you'd probably want to do it around 60. So this fluid was at more than half of its useful life, and it's still performing extremely well. So if you're going to service your Toyota transmission and you're going to do it, just wait until 60,000 miles. There's no reason to waste your money and do it earlier. Honestly, you could probably push it even further, maybe even 80 to 100,000 miles. But when you do it, definitely use the right stuff. Use WS, treat your transmission right, and treat it the way that it was built from the factory. Now outside, if you saw my last video, we just purchased a 2006 IS350. That uses a 6-speed automatic rear-wheel drive transmission, and that car has about 154,000 miles on it. And the transmission was last serviced by a Lexus dealer at 100,000 miles, and they used WS trans fluid. So just for some more data here, we're going to go ahead. I already have the transmission fluid. You saw one of the bottles here. We're going to do a drain and fill on that transmission. I'm still not decided on if I want to drop the pan or not, but at minimum, we're going to do a drain and fill. And I'm going to go ahead, we're going to collect a sample of that. We're also going to send that out. That fluid will have roughly 60,000 miles on it. And it'll also have half of the old original fluid, because when you do a drain and fill, you're only getting half the fluid out of the unit. So that should give us some more data on WS trans fluid and how well it performs in a higher mileage application on a vehicle with some more miles on it. And I think that should really give us an idea on how this stuff performs and how it works. But so far, here with our GS-F, again, like I said in the last video, totally wasted my money doing that video and doing that service, but it was for you guys and it was for the greater good, so I'm okay with it. If this video was informative to you, or if it helped you make the decision on when to service your Toyota or Lexus transmission, or what fluid to use, please like, share, and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. It means the world to us. You guys enable us to do things like this with this car. And this car here, this was purchased completely with YouTube money. This engine, that engine stand, this car is paid for by YouTube. I would not be able to do this without you guys, and it is truly humbling that you all watch my videos. So please like, share, and subscribe. Keep this channel possible. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see, and we'll see you next time.